Last year, I bought a bunch of the Prismatic collection outdoor lights for Christmas from Sam's Club. How do they fare a year later? Well, let's look at that today. Now, you'll remember that during the pandemic, it was very difficult to get a hold of most things online that people had, I guess, a higher desire for, and that would be this Prismatic collection, mainly because they looked so cool. They really did look awesome when they were lit up, and in the stores, when they had the models going, I really wanted them, and boy, as soon as I could get them, I think I bought them. It was sometime in probably October, November. So this is, of course, last year. This is currently November 2025. So anyways, how'd they fare last winter? Well, we live in the northeast of Ohio, and it's known for a couple things. And the most important thing, I guess, it's known for is lake effect snow. So we have pretty brutal winters, no matter how you dice it. And last year was one of the more brutal ones. We had feet upon feet of snow here. We had strong winds pretty much all the time. And basically things didn't hold up so well. And this is kind of a warning video. So before we go any further, my recommendation is that you probably stay away from the Prismatic stuff at Sam's Club. And I also think they have an inclination that a lot of this stuff didn't hold up because most of it is just no longer sold. Some of it's surprising, some of it not so surprising. Let's start here. So these two, I guess you can call them bulb style ornaments that go together. These held up really well. Not a whole lot of rust to them, and they were out all winter. They survived with almost no problems whatsoever. These will be going back out. I'll anchor them down. And yeah, they're good. Now, oddly enough, you can't buy these anymore, at least at the stores from what I've seen. These are no longer on offer at Sam's Club. So these bulbs that held up the best out of anything we bought, you just can't buy anymore, unfortunately. But as far as I know, they worked when I took them down last year, and they should still work now. I would have recommended these if you wanted them still, if you wanted the Prismatic stuff, but I guess since they don't sell them, you can't get them. I guess that's kind of off the table. So we're gonna just go ahead and move these outside so we can get some room in here because speed clean the shed in a hurry this year. So for the next Prismatic thing that kind of held up, we got the Snowman. And I say kind of held up because they still sell this. It fared pretty well. There's some visible rust on the connector joints that you can see. The accessories sort of held on, sort of didn't. We had to fix them a lot during the winter time, so the arms and things like that kind of kept falling out. The nose didn't hold up at all. Whatever material they made the nose out of, it's gone, and the nose was in the dirt somewhere I found it. So yeah, that's not so great, but you know what? You really won't notice it that much when you put it out and light it up at night, so not too concerned about that. So we do have to put the arms and the snowflakes back together, and his scarf is down here. So we'll put him back together, and we'll get him back into service. They still sell this one, so I'm guessing they didn't have that many issues with it. So the Frosty the Snowman is not the greatest thing ever, but you know what? He held up okay, and he held up so well, I guess, that they're still selling them. So despite my best effort to make sure that these things survive the winter, they did not. These snowflakes are no longer sold at Sam's Club, at least my local club, and I can see why. Despite my best efforts to bind them, to keep them in one place, the wires, the cords they use are just so cheap. There's not a lot of strength there, and they pretty much fell apart all the time. I had to repair them multiple times throughout this winter. I soldered the best I could, but there's just nothing to work off of there. And frankly, they're a mistake. I can see why they don't sell them anymore. I'm sure they had a lot of people returning them over the winter time, mainly because they just weren't holding up at all. And like I said, the main issue is they connect together on a single cord, and they don't give you much cord to connect with. And you can see here where I had soldered and bound and everything inside. Maybe you can, I don't know. But the cords are so weak and they're such garbage. Let's just be honest. They're such garbage that any wind is going to take them out. So they don't sell these anymore. I was going to keep these and hopefully try to fix them. But as you can see, I didn't do that. And frankly, I really don't have a good place to put them anymore. So those will most likely go in the garbage. So the snowflakes no longer sold, and I would highly not recommend them. Perhaps the biggest disappointment I had with these whole Prismatic collection things was the Christmas tree, which again, no longer being sold. I didn't see it in stores. I didn't see it online. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong out there. But the Prismatic Christmas tree just did not hold up at all. And you're wondering, does it have a star on top? And why is this like kind of taped off here? You know, I put electrical tape at the top of this. Why is that? Well, it just stopped working. It just stopped working altogether. And I thought maybe the cord's broken. Maybe the power needs to be reset. Something's wrong with the cord, the extension cords. So I'm out there troubleshooting it like crazy. And nothing's working, nothing's working. And then I said, you know what? I moved into the garage. I'm just going to put it away and take it apart. So it was still plugged in. I didn't realize that. It was still plugged in. And I unplugged the star here, the top of the star. So I unplugged this part, and all of a sudden the rest of the tree lit up. Something in the electronics of this star was causing the rest of it to short out or something. I'm not a repair guy with electronics. I don't know what the terms are. But all I know is once I unplugged the star, the rest of the tree worked fine. And I kind of just left it that way the rest of the year. And that's okay. At least I still have the tree because I really like the tree. That's where this whole thing started. I saw this tree and I said, I have to have it. It's this prismatic looking LED thing. It looks awesome. It had that like Frozen 1 and 2 vibe to it. My kids loved it. And yeah, so the tree survived to a point. How much longer will it survive before there's other electrical issues or electronics problems? I don't know, but I can tell you now that the tree is no longer sold from what I've seen, and if it was sold, they would have advertised it because this looks really, really good. So when it's all said and done, can I recommend to you the Sam's Club Prismatic Collection? Well, not really, mainly because half of it's not sold anymore, and I'm assuming that's for good reason. They did introduce new things this year, the Prismatic Collection, like a sleigh and some deer, which the deer was always available, but I don't see the angel, and I don't see the snowflakes, I don't see the tree anymore. It's probably because they weren't very good. Now, should I sit here and be surprised that Sam's Club, which is basically Walmart, had poor quality items for a cheap price? No, it's buyer beware as always. I just had more faith that these would hold up a little bit better because they look so darn good, but as we all know, looks can be deceiving. So would I recommend any of the prismatic stuff from Sam's Club? No, not really. I have a couple things that are half working, I have a few things that are broken, and in general, I think my money would be better spent just doing lights on the outside of the house at this point, or buying some things that are more traditionally made. The prismatic stuff is neat, it looks pretty, and boy is it tempting. But when it's all said and done, it was a pretty decent waste of money. Only half of it half works, and that makes me sad. Anyways, I hope this video helps someone out there, and we'll see you in the next one.